Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Bill.
Today we're chatting about how men and women have different views of life or expectations as we age. This could turn out to be a very short video if we fall out a little too quickly.
Could be.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. It's a good question, actually. Do men and women age differently? I think in some respects, yeah. I mean, I think would I still like to play football? Sure. Would I still like to play for my football club in Glasgow, for example? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's much chance of that happening, but it's still a dream. I don't think there's anything wrong with having that as a goal in life, even at this age. So yeah, I'm not sure too many women would agree with that, granted, but yeah, I'd love to do something like that.
Well, I think retired female soccer players might disagree with you, but that sort of just brings up what I think is at the heart of all of this. I'm sitting in a girl suit, Bill is sitting in a boy suit, and neither one of us really can know at any moment what it is like to be the other one. We might think that we have a hunch or that we're really in touch with our feminine or our masculine side of ourselves or whatever, but at the end of the day, we're having parallel but unique journeys in this respect, that our bodies themselves age similarly, but not identically, that we might have similar life paths, but not identical ones. Even male and female twins aren't going to actually know exactly what it's like to walk in the other guy's shoes. So for me, I think this is really a conversation about communication rather than assumption. If you are assuming that you know how the other person feels, if you are assuming that you know how you should feel, are you making a mistake? Or would an open dialogue and communication be a much better way to understand each other and what we want to achieve at various points of our lives?
Well, I certainly think dialogue is important, particularly between two people. If they have sort of some common ideas and some common goals. But I kind of think that you hit the head on the nail a few minutes ago. You said end of day. I think that's where it kind of all comes together. I think it's when you are at the end of the day, when you are getting ready to go off to bed, hopefully go to sleep, well, for some of us if we can, I think that's when it sort of all comes together in the person's mind. I think, I don't think you necessarily lie there and say, what did I do today? Did I accomplish this, that, and the next thing? But you've got psychological feelings and emotions that seem to congregate at the end of the day when you go to bed and when you're in bed and you're lying there, before you go to sleep, if you do go to sleep, that is. And I think that's where the differences are, not necessarily between, male and female, but just that's the kind of things that as you age, some of those things become more prevalent, some of those things become immaterial, some of those things, who cares? I can't do that. I mean, I'm not going to play football, at top level, so who cares? But there will be other things that run through your mind. I mean, how many times have you tried to go to sleep at night and you say, oh, I've got so many things on my mind? That's what I'm talking about. It's in your mind at that part or that point of the day. That's when it all sort of washes into the central place in your mind, and you start to think about it. And that's when you start to ask the question or questions of yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right way? What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do? How am I going to handle this? How am I going to handle the next thing? In other words, all the issues of the day, all of the material things of the day, like, driving or commuting or picking up the kids, that's all behind you now. Now you're inside your own mind. And that's when these things, seem to congregate, I think.
Well, as a female, I can say that I have similar things going on in my head at the end of the day as well. But, I'm wondering if this isn't something that is in transition itself. the older you are watching this video, the more likely it is that you were raised into a world that had a stereotypical ideal of what it was to be a female, what it was to be a male, what you should be aspiring to, what is the ideal female like, what is the ideal male like. And now we're moving towards a world that seems to be more and more gender neutral, and also says that girls can do anything, where once upon a time that certainly wouldn't have been what people would typically say. So your expectations of yourself, what you feel that you should be able to accomplish in your life, those things might be very much in a state of turmoil depending on your age at the moment.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the point about being gender neutral, which is perfectly fine, is an external thing. It's outside of you. I mean, you may be thinking about it, etc., sort of thing, but it's how you react with everyone else, be them male, be them female, whatever that may be, whether that's at home or at work or social, whatever. That's all very fine. But I think what we're referring to here is how do you, regardless of being male or female, how do you feel about yourself? Inside yourself, inside your own mind, inside your own feelings and your emotions. And all I'm saying is, I think at the end of the day, that's where they all come together. But your internal thoughts and your internal emotions are simply that. They are internal. Regardless of what anybody else says or thinks, you have your own thoughts, and those are the thoughts and emotions that control your life. And I think as you age, they start to change and take different shape, take more importance or less importance. I think all of that is a moving target, and I think then if you can accept that, and I don't see any reason why anyone should be any different, be them male or female, happens to us all. I think then you can sort of think through your lifestyle a little bit easier, a little bit better, perhaps more productively.
I think that Bill is making an excellent point. And I think this is something that we could debate, on and off for hours, because everybody is going to have their own opinion, because as I said at the beginning of this, we're all on our own journey. And I think the big takeaway here is whoever you are, wherever you are, however you are, it's really about living a life in which you are aspiring to be the best person that you can be and making the most of your experience. Well, if you're still listening, we must have said something helpful or insightful. So please subscribe to our channel, and we'll chat with you again soon.